Now, during his coming out speech, if you will, I mean, not to be confused with last night's coming out speech, this is the one where he burst in the national spotlight at the DNC convention in 2004. We were told that he was a young moderate uniter, a fresh, post-racial, post-partisan politician. And boy, his speech really sounded like that. I remember it. It was great. This is how he began his speech.
Tonight is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya. He grew up herding goats, went to school in a tin roof shack. His father, my grandfather, was a cook, a domestic servant to the British.
Okay. Now, according to Barack Obama Sr.'s first wife, Kezia, that's not true. It's not true. According to his father's wife, not true. Barack Sr. married Kezia when he was 18 and she was 16. Her parents were upset and wanted her to come back home. So Sr.'s father, his grandfather, gave Kezia's family 14 cows as a dowry. Wait a minute, he had a tin roof and he was a servant with the British master. How many servants of the British masters have 14 cows in which to buy their son's wife? But Barack continued.
My parents shared not only an improbable love, they shared an abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation.
The love his parents shared is improbable. That much is absolutely true. Considering that Barack Sr. was still married to the aforementioned Kenyan woman named Kezia, who had 2 children with him. So it was improbable. So his dad comes over, while still married and 2 children over there, he comes over here. That's where he meets Barack's mother, Stanley Ann Dunham. Barack and Dunham never even shared the same residence. Not to mention the fact that 1 week after Barack was born, Barack's mom, Ann Dunham, took Barack away and left Hawaii to enroll at the University of Washington in Seattle, leaving Sr. behind. By the time she came back to Hawaii, Barack Sr. was already long gone, for good. First off to school in Boston, and then Harvard, and then he met somebody in Harvard. He married yet a 3rd woman named Ruth. And he took Ruth back to Kenya with him, where his first wife, whom he was still married to, waited. So he had 3 wives. So that, yes, I would agree that, I mean, he didn't really get into the details there, but yes, improbable love is probably a good word for it. But as far as his parents' abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation, this is where it really gets dicey. Anne lived much of her life in Indonesia and Pakistan and anywhere else but America. Barack Sr. got his free first-class education in Hawaii and then at Ivy League's Harvard, and then hightailed it back to Kenya, never to return to America. Other than a month-long visit to Hawaii when Barack Obama was 10, that was it. He accepted the priceless American education and then used it to benefit himself in Kenya. But how did he use it? To promote American ideals that he loved? No, he used it to promote his brand of socialism and communism in his homeland's government. At his star-making speech in 2004, Barack Obama said this.
They would give me an African name, Barack, or Blessed, believing that in a tolerant America, your name is no barrier to success.
That's the kind of thing that we all said, wow, that is great. This is a storybook. Exactly. It's interesting, because he went by the name Barry for most of his childhood, except for the exact opposite reason. Obama says his mother advised him not to switch from being called Barry to Barack for her fear that his African name would mean something very, very bad for him in America. So they didn't name him Barack because they had great love for America and respect, and they knew, no, when he tried to change it later when he was becoming a radical, she said, don't, you can't trust America. So which was it? Obama's highly acclaimed book, Dreams from My Father, details his struggles, such as that one, and other racial tensions, causing him confusion about his place in the world. It set the tone for the post-racial excitement his legions of followers felt.